Hi, I'm Anna and this is Flash TV. Did you know that March is Judicial Outreach Month? The Chatham Council on Aging is honored to be participating this year. Be sure to join us on Thursday, March 14th at 1 p.m. to hear Judge Tierney and Register Perino from the Barnstable County Probate Court speak on advanced directives and estate planning. Cuppa and Caps, a traditional afternoon tea with refreshments and a bit of friendly competition, will be held March 20th at the Community Center. Guests are encouraged to wear a hat, their favorite, or enter into the contest with something new. Awards given by a panel of local Chatham celebrities for the most creative, most thematic, and People's Choice Awards. The theme will be Chatham Time Capsule, highlighting the last 50 years of coastal charm. I'll be holding a hat-making workshop on Wednesday, March 13th at the CFAL for anyone looking for inspiration or camaraderie when working on their own designs. Some materials will be provided, but see me for more information. Friday, March 15th, I'm excited to be hosting Songs and Stories for the Season, a Celtic celebration. This lively participatory program with Davis Bates celebrates St. Patrick's Day, Celtic culture, and the impending arrival of spring. Funded fully by the Chatham Cultural Council, a local agency which is supported by the Massachusetts Cultural Council, a state agency, this program will be a hit. Barbara Nickerson has chosen some fabulous classic films to show this month. On March 12th at 1 p.m., we'll be showing Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, a musical comedy featuring Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell as showgirls aboard an ocean liner bound for Paris. Then, on March 26th at 1 p.m., we'll be showing To Catch a Thief, a romantic thriller by Alfred Hitchcock. Our monthly luncheon will be held on Friday, March 29th at 12:30. Join us for corned beef and cabbage, Irish music, and a brief history of this traditional meal. Please call to reserve your spot. Yoga is every Tuesday at 1 p.m. this month, and I'd like to thank the Friends of the Chatham Council on Aging for graciously providing the funds to purchase yoga equipment for the CFAL. We have enough equipment for up to 15 participants. Please join us on Thursday, March 14th from 9 to 10 a.m. and learn about our in-house advocate from Independence House. You'll also learn about the mission of the organization and the work that's being done in the community. Coffee and refreshments will be served. This month, the Chatham COA Book Club will be reading and discussing West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge. Set in 1936, two giraffes who survive a hurricane in the Atlantic take a cross-country road trip in a custom truck to the San Diego Zoo with a young Dust Bowl rowdy behind the wheel. Book Club will be held Wednesday, March 13th from 11 to noon. The Friends of the Chatham Council on Aging invite community members who celebrate a March birthday to their monthly birthday event, held Thursday, March 21st from 12 to 1:30 at the Center for Active Living. Guests will celebrate over lunch, followed by dessert and a gift card drawing. Call today to reserve your spot. Indoor walking group is continuing this month in the Community Center Gymnasium. Anyone is invited to take some laps while enjoying tunes from the 50s and 60s every Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 1:30. There will be one interruption this month, Tuesday, March 5th, due to voting. There will be no walking club that day. AARP tax aid appointments are still available through the beginning of April. Services are available and free to anyone of any age. Just call the Council on Aging to set up an appointment. March is jam-packed, and I have some exciting events to highlight from the Chatham LGBTQ older adult group. Thursday, March 28th at 2 p.m. is the next installment in the documentary viewing series. Paris is Burning will be shown and discussed. This film is a chronicle of New York's drag scene in the 1980s, focusing on balls, voguing, and the ambitions and dreams of those who gave the era its warmth and vitality. In celebration of spring, the LGBTQ+ older adults invite community members to the Rainbow Rally Dinner on March 21st from 5 to 7 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church in downtown Chatham. On Wednesday, March 27th from 1 to 2:30, Tina Games will be hosting a journaling workshop diving into how the spring season influences change. Tina is an author, certified creativity coach, and journal writing facilitator. Give us a call to reserve your spot. I'm excited to announce the Chatham Council on Aging is seeking volunteers. It has been a long-standing goal of ours at the COA to formalize and expand our volunteer program.
If you are interested in becoming a volunteer or learning how vital volunteers are at the Chatham COA, join me on Wednesday, March 27th from 10 to 11:30 at the CFAL for the volunteer orientation. Participants will receive a handbook, fill out necessary quarry paperwork, be given a facility tour, and a comprehensive presentation on policies, procedures, and other pertinent information. Sign up directly with me via email or phone. My phone number is 774-701-0503, and my email will be displayed on the screen. Available volunteer roles are as follows: serving on the Board of Directors or the Friends Board of Directors, program facilitation or support, building beautification, and program reminder calls. I'm so excited for this next segment of Flash TV. It's time for Aging Voices, Stories of Service and Community. Each month, I'll have a chance to sit down with Chatham community members and hear their stories. Now, please join me in welcoming Crayton Nickerson.
Welcome, Crayton. Thanks for being here with me today.
Well, you're welcome.
And I'm so excited that you're able to join me. If you would you introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Crayton Nickerson. I'm a junior. I was born in Chatham, May 27, 1952. My father was a Chathamite. My mother was a Brewster gal. So that makes us true Cape Codders.
Yeah, it does.
And I graduated from Chatham High School, and had my first job was at a local store called Western Auto, which was a franchise store, which is up at Shop Ahoy Shopping Plaza.
Oh.
Where the Sweet Dreams ice cream store is now.
And that you were like working on cars, is that what you said?
No, it was a store.
Oh, okay.
It's a franchise store. We saw it sounds like an auto parts store, but it really wasn't. It did sell batteries, but they also sold appliances and bicycles, lawnmowers, snow blowers.
Cool.
Just a regular whole thing there.
Yeah.
And back then the big seller was the 8-track tape player that everybody had in their cars.
That's cool. Nice.
Then after that, the store got sold, and then I went work for Mid-Cape Center, which was back then was Nickerson Lumber Company.
Oh.
And they had a
No
store.
relation to you?
Excuse me?
Different Nickersons?
Different Nickerson. I started over at the Orleans store. Then I got transferred over to the Chatham store, which is where the condominiums are in right center field.
Oh,
right
okay.
across the street from the old community building,
Sure.
fire station, police station.
Yeah.
Then that was about 9 months. Then I got the position at the DPW.
And that was it?
And that was it. And at that time, it was all elected official. The first person I worked for was Norman Eldridge, who it was relation to the Eldridge property that they're putting up the...
Yeah, I saw that they're doing some like construction down there.
Yes, they are. And then he retired, and then there was another elected official, Gilbert Borthwick.
So you had to be elected to be to work for the DPW, is that what you're saying?
That was to be the superintendent. At that time,
cool.
everything was an elected position.
That's interesting.
And then Gib took over in 1975, and it went to sometime in the mid-'80s, early '90s. Then it became appointed. At that point, they wanted to consolidate to have it under a town manager
Yeah.
board thing. Back then, when I first started, the selectmen was a full-time position too.
Really?
Three selectmen.
Who were they? Do you remember?
Ah, boy, I tell you, there was a bunch of them back then. There was, I can't think right off the top of my head on that.
It's okay. It'd be cool if we could figure that out.
And so then I started working for the town, and started at the bottom of the rung there, doing the labor and
yeah.
driving truck once in a while, but mostly I was being the younger
Hand
guy.
shoveling, like.
Yeah, I was doing the hand shoveling
Yeah.
and sweeping and sweeping roads. But I mean hand sweeping aprons, and then picking up trash alongside the road.
Cool.
And anything that way, cutting brush, tree limbs.
Yeah, that's
So-
where you started. So what were you doing like the last years that you were working for the DPW?
Well, eventually I got elevated to an equipment operator, and then I ran what they call the road sweeper.
Oh, cool.
That was a position in itself. Everybody used to say, well, you always got your mind in the gutter. Or you make me mad because I have to go so slow.
Yeah.
But they all wanted to see me coming down the road, and
I know just yesterday we were speaking with some people, and they were saying that their grandchildren loved seeing Crayton drive by because of the machines. So that's really cool.
I had the kids loved it. They had an air horn. I had to blow the air horn. They would give you the old
Yeah.
hand signal to blow the air horn and so forth.
What was your favorite part about doing that job? Like, why did you stay for so long? That's like so many years.
Well, back then there was more loyalty to the job. You know, people if they started a position, they stayed with the job for the whole career.
Yeah.
Now it's 5 to 7 years and they're gone. They move to other jobs, and it's become much more technical now. I call it, is a sense that you have to do a lot more schooling, even.
Yeah, a lot more training and education and stuff.
You always had. Now they're doing a lot more training than you used to have. I mean, we used to just learn it on the fly.
Sure. Yeah.
And sometimes you were right, sometimes you were wrong.
Yeah, there you go. What was like the best time that you were right when you were learning on the fly and you did something right and it worked out? Like, do you have a memory that was maybe one of?
Well, I'll tell you. You had to follow the lead of the supervisor who knew his job.
Sure.
I mean, sometimes you didn't agree with him, but if you look back on it now, I could see where he was right, you know.
Yeah.
And I was still a young person at that time, and you had to try to learn it the proper way.
Sure. Yeah, just kind of taking advice from the person who's in charge of you. So since retiring and kind of coming into this next part of your life, what have you been up to? What are things that you've been enjoying doing?
Well,
I know you're a big golfer, so maybe we can talk about that.
I'm a golfer, but I'm not a golfer. I mean, it's more of a recreational, fun thing for me. Sometimes you get a little hot under the collar. Anybody would, but it's been just something you exercise. I get out, walk the course. I hate to take a golf cart.
Yeah.
To me, golf is meant to be played, not driving a cart. Nowadays, I see the people out there, the younger people out there in a golf cart, and what do they have? They got a boom box or something with them playing music out there on the golf course.
Yeah.
And to me,
More of a peaceful golfer?
I like the peace and talk. You know, we talk different things going down the course, the weather, and what's going on around town.
So do you have a group of people that you go with?
Oh yeah, we have what they call it. We have a golf league. We have a Tuesday night league. Well, in the afternoons we play. Now we kick in a couple of bucks, and the money, half the money we get, winnings. So you might get your $2 back, and the other $2 goes towards a scholarship fund.
Oh.
And we give it out at every year to a deserving senior that ideally is a golfer or is going to go to school, but.
That's wonderful. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
What's the scholarship called?
It was just called the Tuesday Night League, and then we kind of migrated that into Friday afternoons too, so we get more money and it goes into the.
Cool.
We call it the Tuesday Night League. Then we have a separate tournament that Eastwood Hole will let us play on, and we'll kick in $25 for that.
Oh.
And that all goes towards scholarship. So.
That's awesome. That's a really admirable cause.
And we have a limit of 60 players. That's what Eastwood Hole requires, which is fine. And, and they get a good scholarship fund out of that. And we used to do that twice a year, but now it's migrated down to once a year. But that's fine.
When do you normally have that event?
In April.
In April. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to participate.
Well,
I'm a budding golfer myself.
you're
so.
a budding golfer. Well,
Yeah.
there we go.
I'd love to participate.
Yeah.
Really cool. What else have you been doing since leaving the DPW?
Well, Other than the DPW,
Or yeah, like
Yeah.
just what does your day-to-day life look like these days in retirement?
I try to do a 2-mile walk every morning.
Ooh, it's
Weather
been-
permitting, I park at the town hall, and lots of times I'll walk down to the lighthouse and back. Sometimes I'll take a picture. I like
Nice.
to do a little bit of dabbling in photography there.
Oh,
You know, wildlife. I see a deer or
that's awesome.
coyotes or whatever. You never know what you're going to see. It's something different. You go down to the lighthouse every day, and there's no two sunrises that look the same. And
That's
you
so
can get
true.
sunsets too if you go down Harding's Beach,
Mm-hmm.
or some people love to go over to Mayflower Beach or Corporation Beach, and
Trek all the way to Dennis.
yeah, to go to look on when the sun sets over that way off the
Yeah.
Cape Cod Bay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't do that myself, but
A lot of people do like that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
So you keep yourself busy and active.
I pretty much keep myself busy. I try to pick a project every day since I retired, even if it takes me 15, 20 minutes that day.
So what's your project? What have your projects been the last couple of days?
Well, this year I decided that I was going to clean out the closets. And I started in one room there, and
Nice.
it's funny what you find. I found old canceled checks back in 1997.
Really?
Back then, when you got your statements, you didn't have everything online back then. Bank would send you a mailing statement every month with your checks there, and then you put them in a folder and hold them.
Yeah.
Well,
You kept them for 26 years.
wow,
That's
it
a
wasn't
long
by
time.
accident. So I've been shredding them up, and
Yeah.
nowadays you can't take a chance. I shred everything. Just so much information gets thrown out there now, and
That's
so,
safe. We at the Council on Aging have a shredder that is open for the public to use if they ever want documents to be
yeah.
destroyed. So that's definitely something that
Right.
should be taken advantage of. Great.
So I try to stay somewhat tech savvy.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out great, but I mean, Alexa and I have a little issue.
Well, you're great, Crayton. You come to all of the programs that
Yeah.
I put on.
And then I migrated on. I've been doing more on COA this year. I started with the foot care, which they come once a month there, and I got mine planned set at 3 months there. So I got talking to one of the persons over there and gave me a pamphlet on different activities. So that's what I've been doing. I've been listening to they have a meet and greet on coffee breaks once a month on Wednesdays. They might have the town manager one time, then we had the police chief, we had the fire chief, we had the DPW director. Yesterday was the library director, and a couple of times the police chief has come back and the fire chief has come back, and then they put on a holiday dinner at the Chatham Bars Inn. We had a Thanksgiving dinner at the Wayside, which
Yeah.
is great, graciously appreciated, and then we also have what they call a We Together group there. We a bunch of us meet once a month on Fridays at 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
and the person will be there, whoever they have coming, and we do a trip there. We did a police station tour. We did a fire station tour. Some of them went to the whale watch. We're talking about doing the Atwood House down the line. Hopefully, we're going to do the Heritage Gardens up in Sandwich.
Yeah. The
And,
Better Together group is
yeah.
so, you guys have really bonded and are really enjoying your time together. It's been really fun to watch. I've really enjoyed that.
And it's been fun. It's been interesting. I've really enjoyed it, and I get more involved in that.
So far, what has been like the most interesting speaker program that you've participated in? Like, what have you learned that you didn't know before that you enjoyed?
Well, I don't want to put a finger on anything that way because they've all been interesting, but I've been involved, I've been listening to the police chief and the deputy police chief on different things they've offered there. They've had the cybercrime and and I'm taking part in the police academy right
Yeah,
now.
you came to the cybersecurity the workshop, and is that how you got involved with the Citizens Academy? I wanted to kind of talk about that and see how that was going.
It's much more involved than you think. It's just not people you see riding around the cruise. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's going on there. This last week they had domestic violence and what constituted domestic violence, what they can do, what you can't do, and so forth. And you're finding out the meaning of may or shall. I mean, it's two different definitions there.
Yeah.
May means you have discretion. Shall, you have to.
You have to act.
You have to act on it. So that's interesting. And then hopefully down the line when they do the fire academy, I like to do that one too, because I get to see how the different departments actually act.
Yeah, I was with you on the fire department tour, and it was so interesting how many people had questions or comments about the building that we didn't know before, and how everyone functions. It was really eye-opening. I'm glad you're enjoying the Citizens Academy. That's great.
And that actually, we didn't have enough time actually at the
I
end.
know.
I mean, it was so much involved there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we had to skip like the last part of it. Yeah, that was a bummer.
And I've suggested when down the line that we have, try to get the Atwood House involved, the Railroad Museum.
Well, keep your eyes peeled because there might be something on the calendar coming up.
Yeah, and then maybe a tour of the DPW, see all the new equipment they use now versus from when I was working there.
That'd be cool.
And then down the line, you could go down, maybe see what the Harbor Masters Department all involves. And
All good
eventually when they
ideas.
put the new Upweller building down on Stage Harbor Road, which they've been digging out right now, and it's in the process of doing that, then eventually they'll move the building down from Chelsea. I believe it's stored at Chelsea right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. Crayton, if you could tell people in town who don't come to the Council on Aging something about it, or could you, like your testimony why you've been enjoying it, is there something you want people to know?
Well, I think so many people are quick to criticize the COA who never attended. I mean, I'll admit, I never attended, but I always supported, the COA when there was a donation. I would always send in a donation. I always send in a donation to the library and the Friends of the Library. I mean, I found out yesterday that the library is not really town funded. It's all board of directors that they have a library thing. They get a certain amount of money for whatever.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's always you're learning new things and finding out how other things are functioning and structured. Yeah, it is interesting.
So other than that,
yeah. Well, I have one fun question to ask you. Well, these have all been fun, but I ask everyone, if you could have a day with someone who is past, like a historical figure, famous person, something like that, who would you pick and what would you do and why?
well, I think my thing would be the moon landing with Neil Armstrong.
Oh.
And I'm wondering, when he put his foot down, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, if he was wondering at that time whether there was actually any more life forms out in space.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And I mean, I can't think of anybody that I would really, other than that, I thought that was kind of a moving moment for the world at that time.
Cool. Thank you, Crayton, for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate your time, and I love having you at the COA, and I hope that I can golf with you in April.
Well, you can come down on Tuesday nights when they start at 5 o'clock.
All right, well, I'll do that.
I mean, we have one gal that plays right now, Christine Costa, Jimmy Odage's daughter.
Great.
And yes, you can, we're always looking for more players. All you got to do is kick in your $2 and,
All right.
And have at it. And I'm sure Christine would enjoy, seeing another gal playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not it's just not a men's thing anymore.
You're right.
We have all age groups basically. It's mostly 55 plus in the sense that a lot of the younger people are working, but always we used to have 24, 25. Now we're down to about 12, maybe 10.
Wow.
So I mean, anytime you feel free, it's not something you have to be obligated to do. You're not on any set team.
Great.
You just throw your $2 in and.
Cool. Well, I'll spread the word. I know quite a few golfers in town who'd be interested.
Yeah, and
Cool.
so I mean, it's a fun thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Crayton.
You're welcome.